What's wrong with it?
It always hurts my ass.
Is it because it's hard?
So hard.
You got a hard thing on your ass.
Yes.
Doc likes when hard things are touching his ass. We are back after a holiday weekend.
I think it's been like 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't been 2 weeks. It was my birthday, which is the week of Thanksgiving, and then we took the weekend of Thanksgiving off.
Did we record last week?
No,
That's what I thought.
Well, I released the episode last week.
Yeah.
And we didn't record last weekend because, holiday weekend and shit.
That's what. So it's been 2 weeks since we recorded.
No, well, this will be the second week. We skipped a week.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah, 2 weeks since we recorded.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So yeah, we took that weekend off for
Math.
Thanksgiving and shit. And how was your Thanksgiving weekend off?
I had duty on some of it.
Yeah.
So
Alicia's birthday was on Thanksgiving.
wow, that's a fat birthday right there.
Yeah, she hates it. She hates having a birthday on Thanksgiving because she's like, it's not even a real birthday. It's Thanksgiving.
Nobody cares about my birthday.
It's like having your birthday on Christmas.
That's worse.
I think that's worse because it's like you don't get a birthday. It's Christmas.
You get fucked on presents. Like, this is for your birthday and Christmas. No, you cheap bastard.
Well, I guess the one plus side is that you will always have a nice family dinner, depending on how well your family does Christmas, on your birthday.
I guess so. Perspective.
And it's always going to be on a 4-day weekend, unless you work retail.
Or you're stationed where I am.
Yeah, or you're stationed here. So we got some pretty cool shit for you guys.
That we do.
It's
And
kind
some
of
good Regiment news,
it's
too.
kind of there's a lot of fucking news that came out in the gaming industry.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it wasn't really as significant I thought, so I kind of picked, but there's other ones I'm like, all right, some big ones came out over the week that some of the other ones from that you were texting can wait for. So essentially what's going on right now is that Take-Two and Activision are competing right now for worst games publisher of 2021.
I'd throw EA in there as well.
Well, EA hasn't really been doing the things that Take-Two and Activision have been doing.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. They've just been doing regular EA things.
They're just doing. There's the EA. Like the shit that they've been pulling is the same shit they've been pulling, but Activision and Take-Two seem to be pulling even more stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Like when you got that asshole friend, but they're like, yeah, it's our asshole. We're just doing it.
Yeah, but
We're doing nothing extravagant.
And what do I mean by this? Well, first off, and this happened yesterday, Activision, well, actually, more specifically, Raven Software.
I thought it was Sledgehammer.
No, it was Raven. So Raven Software laid off 12 QA contractors, and this is after Activision was promising them to raise their pay and work out a deal to get them increased wages. And they also relocated them to Madison, Wisconsin, and then they let them go right afterwards. So they promised them all this shit, and then relocated them and everything, and said we're going to pay you more. We're going to try to do our best to make it fair for you, get you a spot in the company. Blah blah blah. We're going to relocate you to Wisconsin, and then it came out yesterday that 12 of them are getting the can.
I wonder why. It's only 12.
Well,
it's
this
a
is
low
also,
number.
Well, it's the contractors. Remember how I always talked about how Activision tends to fuck over contractors more than anything? I always talk.
I feel like this was a bad.
Every time there's a
long
mass
episode
layoff, it tends to be like contractors first, and then they start working their way into different departments within the company. Well, the QA guys are pretty important because quality assurance. And
There's quality assurance on these games.
they do the best they can with what they're allowed to do.
I was about to say, I think these guys should have been fired at this point.
No. It's just it sucks because Activision made $2 billion in profits last year alone, and then they feel like that they can't afford to fucking give these people more pay. Meanwhile, they have a CEO that's got so many accusations you can fucking make a inmate at prison cry, and he's still the CEO of Activision. Like, they have no intention of getting rid of this guy.
I was trying to figure out why the inmate would cry.
The point I was getting at was that Bobby Kotick has a lot of fucking allegations and dirt on him that makes a fucking not make an inmate cry, but make an inmate at a prison look good, depending on the circumstance.
I'm still hung up on this analogy.
Fuck the analogy. So yeah, you got that going on with Activision. Take-Two is also being pretty fucking shitty. They have
Which one? The game or the company?
The company, I should say. Take-Two, the publisher of Grand Theft Auto and other various games from Rockstar and Red Dead. They've been going on a copyright and trademark claim on everyone, even including modders. So not only have they been like removing modders and copyright striking these modders so that they can't make mods for Grand Theft Auto, and this is coming off the heels of a very, 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 very shitty Grand Theft Auto remastered trilogy. And now they're going after a game called It Takes Two, which is, by the way,
it's a fun game.
A nominee for Game of the Year of 2021. And now they want to go after them for a trademark claim because they have the words "takes two" in their title.
We're starting to copyright
words
now.
It's even worse. It gets way worse because apparently Take-Two hasn't only been doing this to them. They've been doing this to various small businesses and other independent game developers for using similar names and like names on their products, like on their brands. Like, for example, there was a fashion company called or like there was like some kind of, I gotta look into it once we
probably
get to
like
it. It's called Max Fame, and they did a trademark claim on them because it sounded too similar to Max Payne. Yeah, right now if it's even close to like sounding like one of their titles, they're going for a trademark claim. And the worst part is they're going after like small businesses and shit, so they don't have a fighting chance. Because you want to notice, we'll get into that a little bit more.
Because once you go with the small guys, they can't even afford to take the case themselves.
So DICE is undergoing a leadership change in the Battlefield franchise, and more or less a shakeup for the actual Battlefield franchise itself. Again.
I've thought that DICE changed their name to Ripple Effect. Or no, DICE LA became Ripple Effect. I found that out.
Yeah, maybe. DICE is originally like a European, like Scandinavian company.
I didn't know that. I just thought they were just different offices.
These guys are like, I want to say these guys are out of Denmark or Norway or something like that.
That's interesting. Because I remember they had like DICE.
I think they're Dutch.
It might be Sweden. I think.
Yeah, Denmark. But no, I think DICE is a Dutch company, if I remember right.
Because I remember like DICE LA and they had DICE, I think Sweden, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's somewhere over there. Like like the home office is over there.
But I think DICE LA is Ripple Effect now.
Maybe
because you see it on when you pull up the game, it has Ripple Effect on the very bottom. And I saw something that had talked about them being renamed to Ripple Effect, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll go into it more. Sony is introducing its own version of the Game Pass.
We knew this was a matter of time.
It's oddly enough, there's 3 different tiers of it, though. So it's not just you pay one thing and you get everything. Sony's doing it to where there's like 3 different packages that you can get with it at different prices, which they're calling it. They gave it a different code name. I want to say Spartacus. That's what it is. Codename Spartacus.
Is HBO going to sue them?
Oh, no, it's the Game Pass itself is called Spartacus.
I feel like HBO is going to sue them now.
Fucking who knows, man? Wait, Spartacus was Showtime, I thought.
Was it? I don't remember.
I think it was Showtime.
One. It could be. Was it Stars or Showtime?
I don't know. I don't think it wasn't HBO.
Are we sure?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't HBO.
I never watched it anyways.
It was a good show.
I never got into it.
Jupiter's cock.
Speaking of Jupiter, I just watched Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. I'm so fucking pissed because
they canceled it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
You've seen the last episode?
I've seen the whole season.
Yeah. I'm so pissed.
Why? Because it's not going any farther.
It's literally a cliffhanger on the last episode. It says it all ends here. I said, all right, cool. And then it got to a point, and I looked. I'm like, there's 6 minutes left. You better fucking figure this out in 6 minutes, because I knew it was a canceled thing. And then nothing. I was like,
They canceled it like
it was a month.
several months after the season came out.
It was a month because they canceled it in June.
It didn't perform well.
It did.
It didn't perform. Well, then again, yeah, it probably did. But like Netflix is weird when it comes to canceling shows.
It initially got some critic review on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're like, cancel it. But on Netflix, it was top 10.
Well, there's a lot of things that are top 10. I mean, I've seen fucking Peppa Pig or whatever the fuck in the top 10. That's just essentially that's because people are running out of things to watch. But yeah,
It did well though. Like the number of it did better than there was. They compared it to another one on Hulu, and there was another one on Netflix that they compared it to.
Until it turned I think it failed to draw a strong audience, and the whole fact that it didn't really catch attention very well in the first episode until the end of it, when it got fucking brutal.
I think it had to do with the article was talking about they were super over budget, but they're basically on par with how much Marvel is when they spend for their Disney Plus episodes. It was around $15 million, and they were close to that.
Yeah,
and they were only budgeted $9 million. It
was so good. We could talk about this later.
Right? It was just so good. You said Jupiter, and it just made me think of it because I just finished it.
And last, this is a very strange topic, but I felt it was fitting.
I thought it was funny.
A Forza player is facing an 8,000-year ban. 8,000-year ban from the game for a custom Kim Jong Un car.
That seems a little extreme.
I'm really curious.
Have you seen the car?
No, I got the articles though. We'll see it.
I didn't read the article because I was like, I feel like he's gonna pick this just because of how outlandish that it was. Yeah, and I was like, I want to see the car at least. And I looked at the car, and it's hilarious.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the picture of what the car looks like. It's pretty funny.
I don't know what it is about like these commie countries, and if you try to make fun of their leader, like you end up getting fucking like nuked off of the game or off of the platform that you're on.
Because China.
Oh yeah, China.
China supports.
Fuck you, China.
China supports them.
Fuck you, Winnie the Pooh. Go ahead and cancel me, bitch.
I think China is the only one that supports them, though.
No, Russia, Iran. Russia's kind of like about it. Iran.
That's because they back China.
Iran is just Iran.
Russia only really backs China. China's the only one that truly fucking backs them, and I don't even really think that they like them personally. They just control them.
They use them as a buffer between the South Korea and them.
Yeah, they basically just use them as a pawn.
They're essentially like, you're a buffer space between us and Western culture.
Like, we own you.
So yeah, that one's gonna be interesting when we dive into it. Why don't we go into our regiment news?
Oh yeah. So right now, like as we're talking, the $4,000 tournament for the American Legion is going on.
The Warzone one?
Yeah, it's going on right now. So people that are watching are gonna potentially know the results by that time, but it's going on now. I thought it was pretty good. Stack Up and Regiment are looking to send 5 players to Las Vegas on the 4th for a LAN tournament for Valorant, which has been picking up a lot more.
You lost me at Valorant.
Yeah, I know. I never really got into it. I think it's third person, right?
No, it's a first person shooter.
What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Rogue Company.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, because they came out around the same time. I don't like either one though, but I mean, that's pretty sick to go to Vegas, get sent to Vegas for that shit.
Yeah.
We got those patches and coins that are officially available now in the Regiment merch store that you don't have yet.
Yeah, I'm actually, I still keep forgetting to reach out to Chris about this because I'm like, why would I get an email asking for my mailing address and all my personal information saying that I'm getting a coin and a patch and then not get a coin and patch?
They probably just forgot to send it.
It would be me, wouldn't it? It would be. They would forget me. I tell this to Alicia all the time. I'm a forgettable person. Like I feel like I'm invisible.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad.
No, it's bad for my brand because I'm like trying to grow this, and I'm noticing more and more people are doing very similar things as me. But I'm pretty sure I've been doing it longer, and they're taking off, and I'm still like right here. And I even said this about everything. If you ever notice that group photos, look at any Irreverent Warrior group photo, you'll never see me. It's like I was never there.
You've only been to 2 hikes.
Though that be true, like there was some people that were like in every single one. And not even just with this.
Some people make it out of their way.
There are very, you know how most people in the military have tons of photos with them and their buddies? I have probably 5.
I mean, I don't take pictures really either.
Well, I don't take pictures, but other people usually do. So, like, if you look at all the group photos with the unit, or like when we were in Greece, or when we were in like Ukraine and all that stuff, I'm in none of those photos.
I don't have shit.
I've even done like straight up JTAC recertification courses for fucking NATO, and to include U.S. and NATO nation JTACs running the lanes, doing missions and shit. And they had a camera crew out there, and they took pictures of me, and they never uploaded them.
Be more.
There's
photogenic.
maybe 2 fucking photos of me in the entire thing. One is of me on a radio, like a close up of me on a hand mic. And the second one is of me doing a fucking live, like with an aircraft flying over my head, doing a gun run.
Just think, when you get famous, there's less shit for you to be canceled for.
And then, like, when it comes to, like, I got one group photo with a fist team.
You're being fisted by a team?
No, we are the fisting team.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, like, with me and the other Ford observers, like, we all took a group photo with our company, like our company group of FOs. We all got together and made a photo, and I'm in none of them.
No, we haven't had a regiment story.
I'm in one of them. And yeah, just like when it comes to like, and then when I'm trying to get noticed with this stuff and try to do stuff, and it never, no one looks at it, no one cares. There's also a lot of times where I'm like, because I'm trying to reach out for sponsorships and stuff and partnerships with like brands. They'll make a post, and I will often be the first one to comment, and then other people will comment, and then they all get engagement, and I just go down.
That's about who you know most of the time.
It kind of sucks because I'm just like,
the grind sucks in the beginning, but those are usually the ones that get overlooked a lot are the ones that end up blowing up later.
That's the only reason why I've been continuing doing this. You know how many people told me to quit doing this podcast? I get told all the time. No, not anymore, but like I used to get told all the time. I'm like, why do you even do this podcast anymore? No one's listening to it. I'm like, some are. Some are watching it.
It's because they look at it like how a lot of people get frustrated when they're streaming. They're like, "Oh, there's 2 people watching me." I'm like, "Yeah,
it's a slow burn.
2 people literally behind you watching you play.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's the thing. It's the few people that I do get that regularly come back are the biggest reason why I keep doing it, because I know eventually that's going to grow. If I can have people that continuously come back, eventually I'm going to have more than just them that come back.
There's a quote. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Alpha Gaming. Oh, it was either Alpha Gaming or Sweet Tales. They said a doctor aspires to get their dream over a span of like 12 years. They don't just get it like overnight.
Right.
And people in this industry, like podcasting, streaming, etc.
Well, you also got to think of there's also a handful of these podcasters and streamers that blow up overnight.
Yeah, and those are the ones that people focus on because they're like, I want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have those,
and then they give up.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I went with that logic, I wouldn't still be doing this 2 years later.
But that's because people are lazy and they don't want to grind.
Can you believe
or work.
in February it'll be 3 years of this podcast?
I say 2.5 because you took like 6 months off.
Okay, sure, but I started February of 2019, so essentially 3 years of doing this podcast.
We could have been doing this the whole time.
We could have.
I got here in 18.
Yeah, we could have been doing this the whole time. But I mean, I didn't know you.
True.
And like, it's kind of funny because it's like the one thing that it also keeps me going is I look at things in perspective of where I was when I started all of this and where I am right now. Because when I was starting this, my very first ever episode was in the kitchen on a small table that I had with one Yeti microphone.
Yeah, we can hear it.
And no cameras. You can hear my dog pitter-pattering around on the kitchen floor. You can hear everything in the background. Like, essentially, it was just like we started off there with a fucking old MacBook and some shitty stuff put together, like this little podunk thing. And now here I am with a whole fucking room set up for this, cameras, microphones, a computer, a mixer.
And you were my #1 podcast on Spotify.
I was Alicia's #1 podcast on Spotify.
I don't even.
I was
know.
also my #2 podcast on Spotify.
Wow.
I know it's pretty fucking narcissistic.
25,140 minutes listened to.
Bro, really?
That's what it said.
That's weird.
In that picture.
So anyway, enough about me. Let's continue with these news.
Yep. Stack Up Charity, we raised $12,041.
Did you see the overall that Stack Up has made?
That Stack Up in general?
Yes.
No.
They passed their $750,000 goal.
Wow, that's a lot.
Dude.
That's significant.
Since the charity started, which was what, 2 months ago maybe?
Was it?
And they've raised $750,000, more than $750,000.
I'm gonna use that metric because to roll over into the IW stuff that I've been getting data, stats, and everything. So from like Regiment, Games for Grunts, Stack Up, MVG, like all those, to use in my presentation at the leadership retreat about Discord and then gaming in general as it relates to veterans. To one, try to grow our server, collaborate with others like Regiment and like how the things that they're doing, because it's still a huge thing that brings vets together in a different world. And that's why I like
We bring veterans together.
Yeah, and even like because there's those vets that don't want to go out all that much, but still need that connection or still want that connection, just in a different way.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is the numbers prove that. And so I'm compiling that into a brief presentation to show that like we're going to be drastically missing out on a demographic of our veterans to bring together and connect with if we don't like grow this or invest more into this.
You mean into the online portion?
Yeah, like into the Discord, into the gaming and everything like that.
Gaming has been huge for when it comes to bringing vets together.
Because like the American Legion thing.
Have
like,
you,
that's
speaking
huge.
of like veteran communities, have you ever heard of Devil Dog Gamer?
No.
So he's a Marine.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know what gave it away. Devil Dog.
Something
but
like
he's
that,
a Twitch partner. The guy's got almost 1 million fucking subscribers on his YouTube. He's got 500-something thousand followers on his Twitch. He regularly has like 500 to 1,000 people watching him. He has no camera. It's basically gameplay and his voice.
He's got to be like super good or something.
I mean, he's not bad, but he's very good with when it comes to like, interacting with chat. But the thing is, he's been doing it for so long.
That's true too. All the people that are super huge now.
I told him about Regiment, and he basically told me to fuck off because he said I don't want any. He's like, no, I never heard of it. And I'm like, yeah, it's a veteran gaming community. He's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a veteran gaming community. He's like, I don't need veteran gaming community. I got my own. He's like, I set up my own because I'm tired of these fucking milsim veteran gaming communities. I'm like, it's not like that. He's like, listen, man, I don't care. I got my own community.
That's fair. And he's a big.
And it's fair. Yeah, he does have his own. But he was like saying it's all like SF guys, MARSOC guys, Rangers, Delta. Is like all special operations guys. So, I mean, like, okay.
Because Matt Best is partnered too.
Yeah, I know.
He does all this
Matt
stuff.
Best is partnered.
Pretty sure.
So I tried getting Devil Dog in there, and he said no. So
seems like a dick then. We've got some IW gaming merch.
Well, listen, I do. Hang on, I do like his streams. He's entertaining. You know,
well, his content.
I'm not shitting on the guy, but I mean,
but his content.
His content's good. I mean, he seems,
his off-stream personality seems a bit.
His stream personality is good, and
no, his off-stream personality.
Oh, I don't know about his off-stream personality.
Oh, this was on stream. Okay, gotcha.
So he didn't say fuck off. I'm just paraphrasing. Yeah. Well, he just was not at all interested in Regiment at all. And I was
fair.
I was trying to convince him to look into it. Because maybe part of his community doesn't want, or not say that he doesn't want, but I mean, like,
when you get to that level, though,
I'm in his Discord, and there's not really any like options for veteran support. that I could see. I got to look into it a little bit more. It's more.
So he probably has his theme veteran, but his overall theme. Like,
his overall theme is Milsim.
About. Interesting.
It's mostly Milsim. It's like Arma, Squad, Tarkov, World War III, stuff like that.
When you get to a certain level, though, you start to, because we know how veterans can be. They like to leech off of other people and the success of them.
Yeah, I understand. That is also understandable.
Community.
The bro-vet community is such a fucking problem, and it will always be a problem.
And that could be probably what he's trying to avoid.
Yeah, and
the level he's at.
I kind of took it as that. You know, I mean, like maybe I just wanted to put the name out there so that he could look into it. I told him like it's run by a bunch of Marines. Like the guy that started as a Marine, like I said, yeah, the guy that started as a Marine, like it's a veteran support community essentially through gaming. So anyway, go on and talk about your shirts.
Well, there's gonna be shirts and hoodies,
shirts and
potentially
hoodies.
Stickers, pretty much everything we're talking about. As I was talking to the person that's doing our merch for the IW Gaming merch, everything that she's like, what other stuff do gamers buy? And I was like,
jerseys.
With that, but I was like, everything that we sell in the store basically is the same shit that's in the regiment store. Like you've got the stickers, the patches. Now we have flags.
People love stickers.
Yeah, I don't know why they put them on their computers and their laptops
or their fridge.
Like that, yeah,
and, I get it. Or their Yeti cooler, or their work koozies,
the tumblers,
like
unless it's already printed on there. I'm like, everything that we have is what gamers buy. Like,
right.
It's the same thing. And I was like, that's easy. We just put
that
the logo
had me thinking, where
on
the
there.
fuck is my grunt style koozie at?
Lord. And we have a link tree. It's not a link tree specifically. It's a different version of a link tree, I guess. I don't know what it's called, but all the IW links that you could ever need are in there. Like the Discord. It's pretty cool.
What is this first one you overlooked?
Oh, shit. So I've officially turned over Chicago coordinator to Jessica Bridges. She's another corpsman at the hospital.
Hell yeah.
She has the reins.
You finally have a replacement.
Officially, yeah. I guess she's been...
That took forever.
It's been like a vetting process, I guess, to make... Because we have a new process, because there's been a lot of coordinators, especially this year.
It's kind of pretty close, man, because like you guys start coordinating like in January.
Sort of. I think it's just... they were getting vetted before the leadership retreat.
Okay.
Because she's going out there with us.
No, okay.
And I'm supposed to be like her mentor and everything. I'm going out because I'm on the social media team now. But she's going out, obviously, as the coordinator.
Yeah.
But since I'm going out as well, turning over to her, I'm basically her like mentor while we're there and everything, while doing the social media stuff too.
Sweet.
So she got all the gear now. Gave her all the shit. I gave her everything. So
before we go into before we actually start on our first topic, I know that most of you guys are probably not up to this point yet, but if you are, thank you for staying around. Also, if you want to keep seeing what's going on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Like the video.
Like and subscribe, and check out all of our social medias. But there's been a lot of questions been sent my way. Where the fuck have you been on your streams?
Oh, me?
No, me.
Oh,
like I haven't streamed in a week.
You did one on YouTube, I saw.
I reposted it.
Oh, it was a repost. Okay.
I connected my Twitch to my YouTube.
That's not smart.
No, you can as an affiliate. You can connect your streams.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, at the same time, you can't stream to both.
You can't stream to both, but you can upload your stream to it afterwards, which is what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It still decreases the value of the quality, though.
Why?
I don't know.
It doesn't.
I don't know.
It's high quality. It wasn't at first, but like it still has to process HD. But regardless, like I'm just throwing my streams out there just to continue adding content. I'm trying to add more shorts on there and stuff. I got to figure out how to use the shorts properly. But my whole thing, the reason why I haven't been streaming is because I'm done streaming.
Excuse me?
I'm just kidding. I'm not done streaming. No, I'll never quit that. No, I'm reworking my stream overlays and shit.
Oh yeah, the stream elements thing that you're having issues with.
Well, the stream, not even just the alerts. I'm changing the sounds, changed the music a little bit, kept some of the music.
I made all my alerts free.
My intro song is now 5 minutes long.
That's ridiculous.
But it's 2 songs. It's not one. It's not going to replay itself. And the only reason why I did that was because the overlay template that I have has 3 countdown clocks on it that are pretty cool. My only options were 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. I couldn't customize it. So what I did was to expand it a little bit was to add almost 5 minutes worth of music in the intro.
I recommend making
And it's all free use. I changed the raid notification. I changed the alerts. Changed the sub notification.
You should make the sound alerts free, at least until you start getting like significantly bigger, because it increases what I've noticed since I've done it. It increases that chat interaction just because people like they don't have to spend bits on it. They don't have to spend channel points on it.
I can't make all of them free.
Yeah, you can. You do it in the sound alert thing.
Let's see when
In the sound alert widget.
It. Yeah, I'll make them all free. Fuck it.
Because that's what I did. It just it makes it fun for the chat to be able to use them, and it just creates that interaction. At least until you start getting
okay. Yeah,
like,
I'll make them free. Fuck it. We'll make them free.
People.
Another thing I want to say is that also
because you had some funny ones when I had some bits going in there.
Oh,
and I
got more coming.
That's what I mean. Like the ones. You can have the free ones, and then you can have
most of those I made. Like I actually like ripped the audio, and then
that's too much time. I just use there's a million.
Search. Well, I was at work. What the fuck else was I gonna do? So I took my laptop and I had all these different sound bites downloaded.
Make TikToks.
Well, because I used the ones that I made from the soundboard that I did have.
Well, you said what else could you do? Make TikToks.
Make TikToks, but the editing you gotta understand, dude. Like I'm literally sitting in a can and editing all these fucking videos for TikToks, it takes time. And I have to like I got to go sort through every fucking stream. I got to download it to my laptop, sort through to find clip-worthy content. Because as everyone knows, not all streams are clip-worthy. Just like this podcast. Making the intro clip is a pain in the dick sometimes, especially when we're all business. Because there are a few episodes where nothing really significant happens to make a clip out of it. And the clip's only there to get the people that are tuned out by now hooked in to wait for that one.
Listen up, fuckers.
Listen, fuckers. Watch the fucking whole video. I get it. Like no one wants to really watch like a 2-hour long episode.
Just listen.
Or just listen to it, but no one's listening.
Go to your car. Or just listen and not go to your car to listen to the video.
Anyway, I am going to be like straight up editing my own scenes, like creating my own shit. Like I'm going to get into like designing and editing all my own stuff.
Okay.
Which will unfortunately mean that I will have to reduce the amount of streams I do for a little bit for several reasons. One, I'm going to be going back to school. Two,
that's a scary thought.
Why? I need to get the fuck out of this job.
Yeah. Did you get your shot yet?
No, I am actually not eligible until the 22nd of this month.
Just because of the timing of the last one?
Yes. I can't take it until exactly 6 months of my second shot. So anyway, so yes, for now the streams will continue with the products that I have currently.
Have you applied to school yet?
I have an appointment with a counselor so that I can actually start figuring out what classes I can take, how early I can start, and also getting my GI Bill started. Like get the ball rolling on that.
Was it you that told me about the thing where you gotta have your shot to even go to classes?
Yeah, there are actually there are certain
too.
classes or certain schools that are requiring you to get the fucking vaccine and the boosters to even attend online courses.
Well then.
Because I'm being told now that I need to get the booster in order to keep my job. And listen, your opinion on the vaccine is your opinion on the vaccine. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. But the thing is,
that should be how it is.
And an employer telling me that I need to get it or I'm fired is insane. That should be between me and my fucking doctor. We have one guy that's leaving because he had really adverse effects from the vaccine, and he does not want to go through that again. But they're telling him that you need to get it or otherwise you're fired. Or not fired, but you're going to be removed from that site.
Well, then.
So he's like, I'm out. But anyway, another thing is very potentially very soon, I'm going to be having merch.
Oh, I saw that.
Starting with jerseys.
Send me the jersey.
Because I figured jerseys would probably be a cool way to kick it off. And it was cheaper than the regiment one. And to start it off,
ours is more expensive simply because of who we go through.
And I'm pretty sure that, like, you guys, like, it's priced to make a little bit of profit off of it.
So I talked to Chris about this at the hike, and they don't make nearly. So if they went to another company, once the contract is up, which I think he said he's planning on doing, if they go to another company, then they could actually charge less and still take more profit. They don't make that much profit off of. It's the company. Like NEU makes quality, quote unquote, quality product.
Yeah. I'm wearing one right now.
They take a lot of fucking profit.
I'm sure they do. I went through Raven GG I ordered a jersey of mine.
I couldn't get a jersey, bitch.
I wanted to see the quality first before I let anybody else even get their hands on one. But it is saved in my profile on there. So if you want one, just send it my way. Like, I'll figure that out. I want to get this first. And the other thing is, it takes a little bit over a month to get them.
Yeah, I leave in a month, 2 months, but
whatever. I'll just whenever I get this one, I'll check it out, see how the quality is. I mean, they have a bunch of esports teams that they're sponsoring that have their jerseys. So keep an eye out for that. If you want to know what it looks like, go check out the Instagram. It's going to be in the description, and then go and check out the jerseys from there. So essentially, what I'm going to do is, like, if you want to buy a jersey after I put them out there, the only thing I can think of to start it up is just like, you just fucking like PayPal me the money and I'll order it for you, because they make them to order. Like, that's the only way I can do it, because I don't really have a store with them to make an account with them so that other people can buy them. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I don't know who I can talk. Oh, Chris. I can talk to Chris about this.
Fair.
So yeah, merch. I'm going to have new overlay in the works, which I'm going to use some of the old shit until then while I work on that. Merch in the works. So, yeah. The reason why I wanted to make my own shit for the stream is...
When's Discord coming?
When's what? Discord stream?
No, Discord podcast. To have guests.
I mean, I can honestly...
And then, to have myself when I'm not here.
Well, here's the thing. I've had a lot of people in the Discord reach out to me about wanting to be a guest.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not going to just have anybody and everybody on.
Yeah, but the fact that you can't have anybody yet.
Well, no, I can't have anybody yet. I'm gonna do it. I know how to do it. I'm gonna do it. It's just, be fucking patient with me, please. But it would be one of those things where if I did have a Discord guest, it would probably be near the end, where we can just kind of like have a conversation at the end. Because I'm also going to be reformatting the podcast.
Why wouldn't they be on for the whole
thing? Because I would have to fucking screen capture them.
Okay.
I have 2 monitors.
There's a way to do this.
There is a way to do this. I have to fuck with it and figure it out.
That way you can also have more consistent episodes.
Yeah. So, what the fuck was I saying? There was another thing that I was saying, and you interrupted me.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Hang on. It's there. It's there.
Yes. Tell us more. This is the best part of the podcast right now. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck is happening?" Right now?
I was talking about, like, I wasn't gonna just have anybody and everybody on as a guest. Format. I'm actually gonna make a format for the episodes, so that way we're not fucking squirreling out.
That's impossible.
Squirreling out in the beginning. Like, I'm gonna actually make a format to keep us on track a bit.
My statement stands.
Well, this is mostly because of viewership and engagement reasons.
I think you should put like I mentioned, the timestamps in the descriptions of when each topic begins.
Yeah, you know what? I actually did that on one of the episodes, and if I'm being completely honest of why the other ones don't have it, it's pure just
Laziness.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's all laziness. But no, I'm actually gonna make a format so that way we can get down to business, like throw some entertainment and business within the first hour, and then spend the next hour fucking off.
I like to think we're pretty entertaining.
Oh, I think we are pretty entertaining. I just not entertaining enough to keep the eye of the people that are watching it.
Stop abandoning those fuckers.
It could be a number of reasons that people are starting to watch, but like if I'm watching because I'm looking at my analytics when it comes to like viewer attention span, when it comes to the videos, they teeter off around the 8-minute mark.
Interesting.
Like after about 7 to 10 minutes, people pretty much peace out from there because they're like, I don't know where this is going.
I think I'm telling you, if they have the
and that's the other reason why the
thing?
format's going to be a thing, and that if I put the timestamps in there, then
yeah, they can be like, all right, we'll skip this.
Right. So my whole in the formatting is to keep us on track, essentially. Like during topics, it's whatever, but like I'm trying to keep us on track so that we're not fucking squirreling out all the time. So with that, we've been at 40 minutes now and not have talked about a single thing.
Sounds good in theory.
Yeah, it always sounds fucking good in theory, doesn't it?
It's like before when we were like, we're gonna finish early today.
So first thing we're gonna talk about Sony.
0 times.
God damn it! I knew I was gonna do that.
What'd you do? You closed out.
No, I didn't close out. I fucking went to Nelson's camera and he's not here, and it's looking at the floor when I do my push-ups.
Nice of you to join us, Nelson.
Yeah, I know. I could have had Tim, but I mean, I felt like that.
We've done that before.
We've already done it, so it'd be kind of pointless.
Yeah, it's played out.
Anyway, so let's talk about Sony.
But why?
What do you mean, why? Why talk about Sony?
We're going way out of order.
Yeah, I want to save the best for last, dude.
Which one is that?
Well, we're going to go in order. It's basically Sony, Battlefield, Activision, Take-Two, and Forza. So let's talk about Sony's Game Pass.
What do we know what they're calling it yet?
Spartacus.
That's right.
Sony Group Corp's PlayStation division is planning a new subscription service to compete with rival Microsoft's popular Xbox Game Pass, which is
Can I get this a little bit?
oh shit, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Which is long fucking overdue. Can you see it?
Yep.
According to people familiar with Sony's plans and documents reviewed by Bloomberg. By the way, I'm drinking mead. This is not the mead that I normally get because it was gone and I'm really bummed out.
Remember when we talked about squirreling out? This is one of those moments.
Yeah, it is. So the service, codenamed Spartacus, will allow PlayStation owners to pay a monthly fee for access to a catalog of modern and classic games.
So it's like it's what they've been doing with PS Plus, which has been expanding.
And
so more than
this
just
is
the
going to go into their
games.
expansion, but they're also going to be. You remember how I said they're going to be different packages of this pass?
Yeah.
So they're going to lock certain generations of PlayStation games behind each package. So if you get the cheapest one, you essentially only get like next gen shit.
That makes sense to me. That's fair.
Like newer titles, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you want to play like PS2 or PS3 games,
See, I think I agree with that actually, because if you're paying for the one, you get everything that comes out. Cool. But if you want like the classic
well,
stuff,
I mean, I'm guessing here. Well, we'll get farther down into it.
well, I mean, yeah. Why would they do things that make sense?
So, who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak to the press about the plans. Well, shit. The offering will likely be available in the smash hit PS4.
Smash hit.
I mean, it really technically was, which has sold more than 116 million units, and its elusive successor, the PS5. I like how
It's elusive successor, which has actually sold more.
which launched more than a year ago, but is still difficult to buy due to supply chain issues.
False.
Supply chain issues is a fucking stupid way of saying scalpers got them all, guys.
Just be honest. Let's be fucking real.
You don't have one because our whole sales rollout was a disaster, and scalpers beat you to it.
And they won't bundle it with things or like name the bundle specifically, so scalpers are less likely to buy them, because scalpers are less likely to buy shit when it's bundled with stuff, because that's extra shit that they can't really resell.
No,
And like, especially when it's specific games, like they're not gonna fucking be able to sell that shit. So they're losing money. So they're less likely to buy it.
Right, because they have to price it higher, which is still an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
So when it launches, expected in the spring, the service will merge Sony's 2 existing subscription plans, placed PS Plus and PS Now.
I wonder if it's gonna come out at the same time as the Discord thing.
It might. Currently, the PS Plus required for most online player games offers free monthly titles, while PS Now allows users to stream or download older games. Documents reviewed by Bloomberg suggest that Sony plans to retain the PS Plus branding, but phase out PS Now.
Phrase it out.
Phase. Here we fucking go. Literally like halfway in the article, and we're already fucking talking about Brock's inability to read shit.
I literally just picture that clip every time you fuck up a word.
All right, so details on Spartacus may not be finalized, but documentation reviewed by Bloomberg outlines the service with 3 tiers. The first would include existing PS Plus benefits. The second would offer a large catalog of PS4 and eventually PS5 games.
Okay.
The third tier would add extended demos, game streaming, and library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games.
Wow. So they're getting rid of Now, right? So they're keeping PS1 or PS Plus. That's the basic level.
Yep.
And then the addition of they're combining it with PS Now, and that's going to be the top end. So if you want like the older gen games, and the mid tier is going to be probably what most people are going to get.
Probably. I mean, see, the mid tier is PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, well, mid tier is the current gen stuff,
right?
And that's what I see.
And the higher
getting.
tier, which I'm guessing this is going to be the higher tier, is going to include everything from PS1 to PSP.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do to people with PS Now subscriptions then. Like how that's going to roll.
It might roll over into the first tier.
Well, if you have PS Now, you have to have PS Plus.
I'm guessing that it's probably going to be priced as the same as the tier 1 subscription.
I wonder if it'll be.
And then you have the option to upgrade to 2 or 3 from there.
I bet I could see them
because
doing it
that
to
makes
where,
most sense to me.
like, it's almost like a grandfather thing. So, like, if you had PS Now
you
and PS Plus, like, you get those two. Like, you get the 2 ends. But if you wanted to add the PS4 and PS5 games, it would be extra on top.
It might be a limited grandfathering, though.
Yeah.
I don't see Sony keeping that forever. Anyway,
There's not a lot of people that have PS Now.
So, a representative for PlayStation did not immediately respond for a request for comment. Although the PlayStation has outsold the Xbox in recent years, Sony has lagged behind Microsoft on the subscription front.
Yeah.
With this new structure, Sony will look to compete at an Xbox feature that has been popular and lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
So Microsoft's Game Pass, which is often dubbed the Netflix of video games, has more than 18 million subs.
That's an insult to GameFly.
Yeah, everyone neglects GameFly.
Yeah, everyone forgets about it. They started off the exact same, in the mail.
Well, I mean, I think they did it for because how many people fucking know about GameFly besides older generation?
It's fair.
It allows users to pay $10 to $15 a month for unlimited access to several hundred games. Xbox has built its overall strategy around the service in recent years, putting all of its internally published games on Game Pass as soon as they're released, like Forza, MLB The Show, Halo's going to be on there. Xbox has also made big acquisitions, such as Bethesda Softworks last year for $7.5 billion.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I know. It still blows my mind each time I see that. With the goal of bolstering the Game Pass library, Sony is also putting resources into expanding its efforts to cloud gaming. And people familiar with the plan said, I don't know if I like that. Microsoft's xCloud game streaming service became widely available earlier this year. And that is it from Bloomberg.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it... I mean, we knew this was coming.
Take this quiz to see if you can retire comfortably, and it has a fucking... with a colonial mustache.
That's an impressive mustache.
And some, like, cowboy hat that looked like it was stitched in Tijuana.
That was very specific.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, his mustache is pretty glorious.
It's a fucking... Guys,
looks like Doug Dimmadome.
You guys want to see this mustache?
Dimmadome.
Look at this fucking mustache, dude. Oh, I don't want to see you. Look at that mustache.
It's Doug Dimmadome, owner of the
This is
Dimmadome.
take this quiz to see if you can retire. Listen, man, I'm 33. I cannot retire right now. Too young.
But you didn't take the quiz, so how will you know?
Just a guess. Just an educated guess.
Kings. Ooh, there's a new Kingsman. Look at that.
No, Kingsman. That was supposed to be out a year ago.
The Kingsman.
No, this is
Wait, that's not the same?
No, it's the original one. It's the It's the a prequel essentially.
Oh, I mean, they were phenomenal movies, so it's probably gonna be good. Anyways, back to the topic.
So yeah, I mean, it's good to finally see like PlayStation making a Game Pass to compete with Xbox. Everyone's been saying like
We knew it was coming, though.
We knew it was coming, but then again, like Sony is very stubborn.
Well, yeah, that's why it's taking them so long.
It was one of those things where I guarantee you somebody up higher said we need to adapt or we are going to fall behind Xbox.
That's pretty much what they're.
And the person making the decisions to finally adapt was like very reserved on even doing that for the longest time. And I guarantee you, like,
it's why crossplay took so long to come about.
And even still, most like crossplay is still a problem because of Sony.
Correct.
So anyway, let's talk about everyone's favorite shit, Battlefield. So I want to remind everyone that Battlefield is now in the it's still Steam's top 10 worst reviewed games. I want to say it is in the 30s or 40s of the most played games on Steam. The player base at its height was at 100,000 players on Steam. It is now down to anywhere between 20 and 10,000 on Steam. It's not good. Metacritic score is sitting at a 2.3.
I think I messaged you this. I want all the metrics, and I've tried to find and
finding
you can't find
so.
it.
The only reason why is because getting that data from consoles is damn near impossible.
I've noticed.
And that's not even just with Battlefield. It's been with every game.
Yeah, it's with everything.
It's every single game that's ever come out. They can never get hard data on anything console-wise because that's up to Sony and Microsoft to get to release. And everyone just goes off of, Steam.
Which sucks because the majority of players are on console.
Yes, that is true. Typically, PC is used as a good base for most titles because of the fact that PC tends to be, when it comes to development and testing and shit, it's all on PC. PC just being like, it's PC. Yeah, PC always will reign superior over console.
We're getting to the point where it's almost negligible.
PCs will fucking evolve past consoles. I mean,
if you can afford it,
they eventually it'll even out. It'll eventually even out.
Right now it seems pretty even.
But so keep all that shit in mind. Battlefield is not doing hot, and it's one thing. And the reason why this is like such a big thing to say is because Battlefield hasn't been out for 2 weeks. Actually, yes, it has. It came out about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, right, exactly 2 weeks ago. Came out November 19th.
Math, I don't.
So it came out the Friday before Thanksgiving.
What's today?
Today's the 4th.
Well, if you count your early release, it's 3 weeks.
Well, early release, actually, it's kind of funny because early release saw the most problems. Right?
Yeah.
But
I think we were like the guinea pigs.
Which is fucking stupid because early release paid more for that. You paid more for the worst experience. You paid $90 to $110 to basically be the guinea pig and buff out all the fucking problems. So why would and that is one of those reasons why I will always tell people stop pre-ordering shit. Stop paying more for early access because you are going to get the shittiest experience no matter what game it is. Every fucking time. Because when they model games like this, they're basically using you guys to figure out how quick do we need to roll out a patch.
Yeah.
And you paid more. You paid more for that.
Yep.
This early access shit is a fucking sham.
Essentially, yeah.
So this player base dip
I remember early access was when I'd stand in line at GameStop and I got it like an hour early.
Yes.
I was like, fuck yeah!
Yeah. It was the same for me, going to GameStop and waiting until midnight for the door to open. Yeah.
Sometimes they give it at 11 or like give it a little bit early.
So,
that's what it is.
it speaks volumes of the state of the game when it's about 2 weeks after like post-launch, and the player base is already dipped by about 75%. If you're talking about its peak, which is over 100,000, and now it's down to about 20,000, so that's about 75% drop.
Still a better launch than BF4 though.
What do you mean?
Battlefield 4's launch was literally horrendous.
Yeah, because it was like it was mostly server issues and shit.
No,
there's a lot of bugs, and also the next gen hadn't come out yet.
And Dice LA, which is I guess Ripple Effect now, is the one that saved
that. So the biggest reason why Battlefield 4 was such a problem at launch was because it was optimized for next gen. And next gen for PS4. So like when it came out on PS3, Battlefield 4 was optimized for the Xbox One and the PS4. And it was missing assets and all kinds of shit for the PS3 and Xbox 360 version.
This sounds familiar.
And when they launched this, the next gen, like in this situation, the next gen consoles are already out. People already have them.
Yeah.
When Battlefield 4 came out, they were still about several months away from next gen consoles. It was around the holidays when it came. It was around like the game came out around September, and the consoles came out in November.
Mm-hmm.
So you had 2 months of playing this either on PC or on PS3 and Xbox 360. So that's why Battlefield 4 had such a really bad launch, because it was made for next gen, but next gen wasn't out yet. So no one could even really see that.
Yeah, but it's basically the same now, where they were made for next gen, and the issues, and I think I was talking to Nelson about this with a few of the games. They were made for next gen, and last year, was it last year when PS? Yeah, it was last year when PS5 and Xbox came out.
Yeah, it was a year ago this month.
Last month. They started noticing like come January, February, like no one could get the fucking consoles because of scalpers, right? So all these games that were planning to come out, like how they came out on PS4 when they first came out, they couldn't because nobody can get them, and they wouldn't make any money. So they had to rush around and put out a bullshit version or a watered down version for old gen, which one took away time for the final product of the new gen version. They had to work on a shit version, and it was going to be rushed regardless, which then case makes both versions shitty or unfinished because otherwise they wouldn't make money.
I would when it comes to bugs and server stability issues, yes, I will attribute that to that. The one thing I will not attribute to that is how much is actually missing in some of the weird decision making. What's wrong with it?
It always hurts my ass.
Is it because it's hard?
So hard.
You got a hard thing on your ass.
Yes.
Doc likes when hard things are touching his ass. That's a clip. Anyway, so the one thing that I will not attribute to that whole thing with developing for last gen and this gen is the missing features and all the other weird issues that even a fucking scoreboard.
So I saw someone else talk about that. It was on.
They've had 3 patches now and still no scoreboard.
So what I've seen is it might be something with development as far as the assets to have the number of players. So there's 128 players, right? And to have a scoreboard with updating that many people in that amount of real time, something with it in the UI of that screen, it might be to where they had to dumb it down. Otherwise, it wasn't going to work. The UI couldn't handle it. You know what I mean?
Then they need to scale down the fucking number of players. Which is rough because they decided to make the biggest maps ever.
Well, yeah, but that's more of a gamble of, do we want to scale down something that is insignificant.
I honestly don't think that
or
this
have more
game needed to
players.
have more players.
They're just trying to do things that no one else has done. Ultimately,
Well, let me tell you something. It ain't working. This does not work. It does not work at all. It's a problem. Like, and I will admit, yes, are there fun moments in the game? Of course. There's fun moments in fucking every game. Mostly. But this game is just, this is not a Battlefield game. And most of the community will even say the same thing. Like, this is not Battlefield. This is like Call of Duty, if anything.
I still don't agree with that.
That's fine. Well, I mean, one of the other things is that they are potentially talking about shaking up this whole franchise and gearing it towards a hero shooter. Similar,
What is that?
huh?
I don't know what that is.
Overwatch,
Oh,
where everyone has abilities and shit.
they already have that.
Yes, but they're gearing it more in that format of Overwatch, like competitive hero shooters. And, like, that is not Battlefield. It never was. Like, it doesn't need to do that. Like, even with the controversy with the whole Santa suit shit, which they removed. Like, it's just...
Well, I mean,
I said
there.
this to Doc. I don't know if we were on air when we said this. But Boris, one of the operators, had a Santa Claus outfit that was going to be in a bundle. Along with Santa, like Christmas themes, like vehicle skins.
Well, it never came out. DICE never even put that out.
No, DICE didn't put that out, but it got
someone else data mined it.
Right. They data mined it. But essentially, the backlash was so bad that they decided they're not gonna release it.
Well, I think that's wrong, anyways, because when you data mine shit, there's a lot of stuff that gets data mined that never comes out at all. But like it was.
Oh, I know. Like look
done.
at Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
How many guns were in the data mining that never saw the light of day?
Mm-hmm.
There were several of them. Remember that time when that one machine gun and the fucking Evo Scorpion submachine gun?
I can't remember.
That one light machine gun with a really low rate of fire, but it fucked everybody up.
Yeah.
And it was like you can only get it in loot crates. Same with that Evo Scorpion, which is that SMG that also melted people's faces, but you could only find that in loot crates.
You talking about like current Modern Warfare?
Back in Warzone, when I was still playing.
Yes, I do.
Those were two guns that were supposed to be introduced that never did.
They did. They can't. They're out now.
What?
It's the MG80. It was the MG82, and
it was like called an Evo or some shit. I can't remember what it was called.
It was the skin variant. That's what it was. I can't remember what. They're both out now though.
Oh well, even still, there was like several guns and other weird things that they found were like soap being an operator, like data mine. They found that ended up getting rolled out, but they fucked up soap so bad. I was so upset. But anyway, this isn't about Call of Duty. It's about Battlefield. The operator thing does not work in this game. It works in Hazard Zone. It does not work in Conquest. It wasn't at launch.
It's more frustrating in Conquest.
Huh?
It's more frustrating.
It doesn't make sense in Conquest, like at all. It's like, one, you have these guys, like there are certain operators are fucking way better than other operators, so everyone's running those operators, like the wingsuit one, or whoever drops the fucking shields. Is it Irish?
Probably. I've never used them.
And like they just there's no team play. I've talked about this a few times. I don't want to like keep beating a dead horse with this, but like essentially it's just like it feels like Battlefield is undergoing an identity crisis. Like it doesn't know what it wants to be.
What I've noticed is the team play thing. I don't think that's related.
There is no team play.
Well, I don't think that's related to the specialists. Actually, I think that's more related to the scoreboard thing. Actually,
no, it's not. I think it's related to the fact that there is no incentive to do so because you can run whatever the fuck you want to run.
Kinda, but the way that the scoreboard works is you can't see where your team is or where anything is on the scoreboard where you're at, and they individualize the stuff like at the very end. They don't talk about the top squad. They talk about
at the end. They do.
Nope. They show you where your squad was, but the people that get those things are all individual things. Are all the individual, like top revives, top vehicles destroyed, top assists. They're all individualized throughout the whole game. It's not squad based. Like
No.
how it used to be. Like on Battlefield 1, 4, 5, like they would be like, "This is your best squad right here."
I don't know why they
It's
do that.
individualized now. It takes away from.
What do they say in the
team
military?
gameplay. One team.
No,
one fight.
no individual. You are not a fucking individual in the military.
Even nowadays, that's becoming not true.
I know. Everyone's got a weird little identity now. But the point, so we're going to actually get into the meat and potatoes of what we're actually trying to talk about here. So the Battlefield franchise is undergoing a major shakeup.
More identity crisis.
EA is announcing a restructuring of its development teams as it looks to grow Battlefield.
Did you just say Eon?
EA announces.
Okay.
Electronic Arts is making major changes to its development structure as it focuses on growing and expanding the Battlefield series following what has been a challenging launch for Battlefield 2042. The future-set military shooter launched in November and was swiftly criticized for lack of features found in previous games for its many bugs, some of which including the infamous unable to load persistence data bug, lots of error codes, by the way, which prevented users from playing entirely. Perhaps the biggest change being announced by today is EA is formally announcing the creation of Battlefield Universe.
Which doesn't. I don't even understand what that means.
Well, I'm about to tell you.
I've looked up stuff what they're talking about, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Which will seemingly span multiple games and offerings, which will be developed by different studios across North America and Europe. Oh my God!
I don't understand. Why is the ad so big?
I know it's because the whole thing is big. You know,
So
I
she
know
said.
the Battlefield universe is gonna. This is going to be structured the same way as Call of Duty. Multiple development companies are going to be working on Battlefield now.
I see.
And it's all going to connect, kind of like how fucking Warzone connected all of the CODs from Modern Warfare up until fucking Vanguard.
I see what you're
So
saying.
they're doing the Call of Duty thing.
It's the publisher, man. It's the publisher that wants that money.
This is exactly. And the worst part is some of the fucking leadership changes that are here are former COD developers.
Yeah, but that's people do that all the time. People switch.
People do that all the time, and I understand. But now, Call of Duty is evolving, or Battlefield is evolving more into a Call of Duty game, and the things that set it apart from a Call of Duty game are getting fewer and fewer and fewer each time it comes out. Battlefield 5 had a lot of things. And as shitty as it was, it had a lot of things that still set it apart from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
This one, which is a direct game after that for the Battlefield franchise, there are very few things that separate the two now. Aside from, there's actually less game modes than Vanguard or anything else. There's like 2 multiplayer game modes. There's a hazard zone, and then there's Portal.
Mm.
So essentially, and there's less guns. So essentially, what it's looking like is that Battlefield is evolving into Call of Duty. And I don't know why they're doing that. They have
Because Call of Duty makes a shit ton of money.
That's a fucking. I don't care how much Call of Duty makes. Like this is like the Battlefield franchise is going to fucking. I think them doing that is going to kill this franchise.
I don't think so. You know why? Unfortunately, it's because what we've talked about before. We're not the ones that make them money. The hardcore players and the ones that consistently love
the hardcore
game,
players are going to stop playing if it starts being like Call of Duty. Because if they wanted to play Call of Duty, they'd get Call of Duty.
but we're the minority. We're not the
I don't
ones
think
that
given the reviews and shit, no, we're not the minority.
But the only ones that write the reviews are the ones that consistently play the game overall.
Well, let's continue. Additionally, DICE GM Oskar Gabrielson is leaving the company to pursue a new endeavor outside of EA. A lot of people speculated that this guy was leaving because of the shitty launch of Battlefield 2042, which is not the case.
Yeah, I think it's just
he had planned on leaving when they started
yeah,
development.
when they after that he wanted to stick around and to see the launch.
Right. So the shakeup includes Respawn's Vince Zampella taking on a bigger role as the new overall boss of the Battlefield franchise. So this guy oversaw Titanfall, Apex Legends, Call of
Basically,
Duty.
same game.
Essentially, yeah. While Halo designer Marcus Leto is building a new development team in Seattle focused on injecting more storytelling into Battlefield's universe. So one of the guys that was involved with Halo, or the designer of Halo, is going to be working on story shit, like campaign shit for Battlefield.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious with how, like, Ripple Effect, you're right, the developer of 2042's Portal mode, is developing a new Battlefield experience in the Battlefield 2042 universe, which, in my opinion, Ripple Effect seemed to have done the best job out of all of them.
Well, yeah, because it's DICE LA. And Dice LA is the one that saved Battlefield 4.
Yeah, and Dice LA is the one that more or less has given any kind of life to 2042 because Portal mode is the absolute best.
They should have just let. I think all the other games that Dice or Ripple Effect now, but Dice LA did, were for like Battlefield 1. I think was mostly Dice LA.
I wonder if they're only doing this whole split thing so they can start rolling out Battlefield like they do Call of Duty.
Probably.
Which is bad.
Whereas
it's gonna fall into the same fucking.
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
So like I think
you saw what happened when they tried developing a Battlefield every year when it came to Battlefield 5. Well, no, that was a 2-year cycle.
It was a 2-year cycle, yeah. But I think so. It could go.
No, Hardline was the result of that.
It could go both ways. It could go either really bad because the main thing with Call of Duty is they keep to the fucking year cycle. And
what do you think they're going to do with this when they have several studios working on different Battlefields?
We don't until we know what the timeline is going to be and everything. But when it's only one developer working on, so like let's say, I think this game would have been phenomenal if it was only Ripple Effect, or Ripple Effect was the main one working on everything. Dice LA, essentially. Same thing. If they were the ones that were producing it, it would have been phenomenal. Because they're the ones that saved Battlefield 4 after they took charge. And I think they're the ones that put out Battlefield 1, and that got huge fucking phenomenal reviews.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 was a really good game.
And especially because everyone talks shit about it because they're like, how are you going to have a World War I game?
If you think about it, Battlefield 1 was probably the only Battlefield that I could think of that launched in a good state.
Well, sort of. It was...
What do you mean? Out of all of them, since 3, it was the only one that even launched with any kind of stability in the servers and shit. It had some issues here and there, but they were quickly fixed.
Yeah, I'll give it. It wasn't terrible.
It had the smoothest launch of all of the other ones. Battlefield 5 had a rough one. This one had a rough one. 4 and 3 had a rough one. 3 had a rough one because it was a completely new thing that they were doing. New engine.
Life.
5 had a rough life, and that was because of the marketing team. Good job, PR.
But it could go either way, though. Depending on how often they want to put them out. I think that's going to be the thing.
I guarantee it's every year. In the immediate future, EA told GameSpot that DICE, Ripple Effect, and Leto's new Seattle studio will work together to expand upon and improve Battlefield 2042. The other Battlefield games and experiences in the works are meant to serve as extensions, to a degree, of the new Battlefield universe that EA is trying to create. There are no specifics yet about the new games experience that EA intends to create when they will release as of yet. As for Leto, the man who designed Master Chief and played a major role in making Halo what it is today, he is heading up a new unnamed studio in Seattle area. He'll collaborate with DICE and Ripple Effect with the aim of expanding the narrative, storytelling, and character development opportunities of Battlefield series. There's no word yet on what this means in terms of specific products or strategies. In a big shift, 2042 did not have a single-player mode, instead opting to focus on 3 main multiplayer pillars: All-Out Warfare, Portal, and Hazard Zone. Leto previously started an independent studio called V1 Interactive that made a sci-fi shooter called Disintegration. The game failed to find an audience, and V1 closed its doors. Leto was hired by EA earlier this year, but isn't until today that we're learning what he's working on.
I don't know how much I'm excited about having someone in charge that had a
failing game,
failed product,
right?
But...
Byron Bede, a longtime Call of Duty veteran who EA hired earlier this year to grow the Battlefield series, has as the shepherd of its long-term strategy.
I think we talked about that too.
Yeah, I know. So, a Call of Duty developer is spearheading and leading basically the entire long-term plan of Battlefield, which concerns me.
And business decisions.
Said Leto, this team, Seattle, will expand Battlefield 2042's narrative across a variety of experiences that will lay the foundations for storytelling opportunities now and well into the future. Whatever Leto's team creates, it will show up later seasons for Battlefield 2042 and beyond.
Interesting.
While he and his team in Seattle area are just getting started in building the Battlefield world of tomorrow, their work will shape later seasons for 2042 and beyond. What?
Did we just say that?
No. We did, but it was in a different paragraph.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Wait, no, the second sentence is different. Go back up.
No, it's the same. It's a different paragraph, same thing.
Oh, build greater. But okay, all right, continue. What the fuck?
In another big move, 2042 Portal developer Ripple Effect will continue to support Portal while it gets to work on a new experience in the Battlefield 2042 universe. Ripple Effect boss Christian Grass told GameSpot he's unable to comment on what Ripple Effect is developing outside of Portal. Zampella's new position is on top of his existing managerial responsibilities at Respawn, which includes overseeing an ongoing efforts of live service title Apex and the studio's other unannounced projects, which I'm praying is Titanfall 3, which probably isn't going to be it. One of which is rumored to be a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, I did hear about this.
EA is very leery of doing anything Star Wars.
Well, Fallen Order and Squadrons were probably the best ones they ever made, and they were the two most recent. Fallen Order was really good.
It's a gamble.
I mean, and Respawn made Fallen Order. So it's a gamble.
Because Disney's oversight is like, don't fuck up our name.
I don't think Respawn will fuck that up. I mean, look what they did with the first one. It was great. EA Chief Operating Officer Laura Meal sung Zampella's praises, saying he is the right person to lead the Battlefield franchise into the future, building off his past successes with Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, and Apex Legends. Hang on.
But which
Medal of Honor?
No, I was thinking which Call of Duty because there's a lot more.
Well, which Medal of Honor too? That's important because Warfighter was shit, and the one before that was really good.
I was thinking Generation of Medal of Honor too.
I'm willing to bet the one where they were in Afghanistan.
Like the earlier versions.
No, the one in 2011 and the one in 2012 is what I'm guessing. So he creates culture defining. I don't care anymore. You like it? You like that? Like I start reading, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, but the
look how long this.
It's not for you. It's for the listeners.
Essentially, that's what it is. It's a whole like shake up in leadership and where they're taking it. They're also talking about making this a hero shooter, which I'm really not looking forward to. So yeah. So the newest update, which is the biggest one for Battlefield 2042 to date, with more than 150 fixes, went live today, December 2nd. This is a couple days old, obviously.
Literally a couple.
So, yeah. That's the news on fucking Battlefield. Now, let's talk about Activision.
So much worse.
Bro. It's almost like Activision wants to just die. Like just seeing all this shit happen, it's like how deep do you want your grave to go? How deep can you dig? You only need to go 6 feet. We're at 15, 20 feet now. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like all these things that they're doing, it's like Activision, you cannot afford to keep doing stupid shit like this on top of the shit you're dealing with right now. You got people walking out of Blizzard. Like I see it all over Twitter every day. A new developer or a new worker from Blizzard is leaving Blizzard or leaving Activision or leaving Sledgehammer or leaving this. Like people are dropping like flies from any Activision studio.
There's always replacements.
There's always replacements, but honestly, I don't think in this case there will be because of how big of a controversy Activision is under right now.
I don't know. There's what do they call them? Scabs? Back in the day?
What, people that like will just fucking take the spot because it's there?
Yeah.
And they'll just take over whoever leaves and say, I don't care about the problems?
Correct.
I honestly don't. Maybe back in the day, sure, but nowadays?
I think it's even more so nowadays because
don't think so.
People either, one, they want that money. Two, they need that fucking money. And three, nowadays it's...
Well, then here's the problem. It's not going to change the workplace culture by doing that. You're going to have the people that are just saying, fuck it, I want the money, I don't care. And I can tell you right now, most of the women that could work in that industry are not going to.
No, that doesn't mean that it won't change the workplace culture. Because I think the workplace culture
I think
is
it
about
won't
who's
change.
working there.
I think it won't change because I feel like people going in with that state of mind, with that logic, it's just going to make things stay the way they are.
I don't agree. Because I think the workplace culture is indicative of who's working there. So if they're getting new people there,
well, it remains to be seen still. So
like I see what you were saying, like if people aren't taking a stand or like that, but like cancel culture and all that shit, it only works to a certain extent, and so you're still gonna have people that need to be workers. the people that are within that company can, like, if you get new people in, then they can still change that. The workplace culture can still change from within.
Like I said, remains to be seen. Like it's hard to say. I don't think with the way that things are going right now that it would, if any, there would probably be fewer than there normally would be that would do that or are willing to do that, because most people are not going to want, like, say, like, I don't want to fucking get involved with this because it's just too big of an issue. Like, you've got the Department of Treasury. That's another thing I forgot to bring up. The Department of Treasury is now threatening Activision.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that would have been a way bigger
that we can also add that into this. The Department of the different Department of Treasuries for different states are threatening to take action against Activision over this whole thing unless there's real changes, and they're also calling for Bobby Kotick to step down, which is another reason why I think Bobby Kotick will be gone by the holidays, because now you have state level and government level fucking treasurers stepping in and saying that, like, there will be repercussions to this, like, to include your bonuses, like, that are paid to you, your retirements, like all the companies funding.
They don't control that.
The treasurers have more control over what goes to the company than you realize, especially at the state level. So the state treasurer provides to the company treasurer, and the company treasurer provides to the retirement and all that other shit. So you have these, and it's not going to be aimed at, like, the employees. It's going to be aimed to the people that make the most, like the board members. So let's talk about this topic first. So Activision Blizzard has laid off at least a dozen Raven software contractors who test games for quality assurance as part of a studio restructuring. What a dumb way to say we don't want to have to pay you anymore. More contractors will be informed over the next few days if they have been laid off too. So there's more to come? Are you kidding me?
I mean, it was only 12.
It was only 12,
but
even still, the next few days, if they've been laid off too, current employees told the Washington Post.
Do we really think that it was only going to be 12?
No, I thought it would be more. I feel like more are coming.
Exactly.
So Raven Software, an Activision Blizzard-owned studio that produces games like Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War. No.
What?
That's Treyarch.
Who
wrote? Oh, it's the Washington Post. They're wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong. They're wrong. As soon as they got the studios wrong, I was
That's
like,
how all the nerds are like, fake news.
That's a pretty good fucking, like, turning point for me. So Warzone developer Activision subsidiary Raven Software is reportedly laid off.
That's way better.
Yep.
That's way better.
So current and former Activision Blizzard employees are expressing solidarity with the workers, as many as anticipate further job losses in the Q&A department. The news was shared by fellow Raven employees on social media last night and comes despite a staggering $1.93 billion in earnings being generated by Warzone last year. These layoffs, especially under the backdrop of Bobby Kotick's recent controversies, has Activision Blizzard workers once again calling for CEO to step down. I told you, drag him in the streets and put a $10 bill in his ass and send him to the bus station. Well, ain't no one going to do it. So, this guy, he tweeted, Austin O'Brien says, I'm gutted right now. My friends in Q&A at Raven were promised for months that Activision was working towards a pay restructure to increase their wages. Today, one by one, valuable members of the team were called into meetings and were told that they were being let go. So this is the Raven community manager. These people were asked to relocate to Madison, Wisconsin to work here. Now they're out of a job on January 28th. It's unfair to these people to string them along, promising something better, and then letting them go. And he's right. He's right. Imagine your job saying, like, hey, we're going to move you to another state, far from your home state, to work here. We're going to restructure our wages so that we'll pay you more, and we're going to give you an employment opportunity full time. Oh, cool. And then to be told soon after, we're getting rid of you. Good luck. Now you're in Madison, Wisconsin. How many game studios are in Wisconsin besides fucking Raven? It's just Raven. That's it. It's just Raven. Raven's the only game studio that I can think of that's in Wisconsin. And
we could Google it.
We could Google it. But even still, the whole point is like, well, and then A person from Bungie actually tweeted out in the comments here that there are QA openings, for full time with Bungie.
Most time, those people are gonna get another job.
Oh, they're gonna get another job, but they're gonna have to relocate again,
Potentially.
which sucks because they got relocated
Maybe.
at the prospects of getting this job. I mean, they could work from home. It depends,
COVID and everything.
So Twitter user KittyCatQA, who also works at Activision Blizzard, also commented on the matter. The devs being fired are star workers and amazing people. Let go just to save a couple of bucks on everyone else's promotion. Hashtag fire Bobby Kotick instead.
Their name is KittyCatQA.
I know. So another person said, we watched in shock today as our peers at Raven lost their employment in real time. With all of our efforts to improve the lives of our contractors, this is a great wound for all of us. An incredible break in the trust of the company he has asked us for. No, we stand with you. And fucking spool of yarn. I don't know. Why? I don't know what that means.
I don't understand.
Spool of yarn emoji. So employee advocacy group, a better... that was... There's
what does the yarn mean?
What? Guys, what does the yarn mean? What does the spool of string mean? We stand with you.
I got nothing.
We stand with you. Emote, string of yarn. What? Why?
I'm trying to think of something that's like off the wall or like symbolism. I got fucking nothing.
I got nothing either.
Tied together? I have no fucking clue.
So while we're at it with this,
I feel old.
Let me look up to the state treasurer thing. State treasurer.
No, it wasn't state treasurers. How many developers are in Wisconsin?
No, I was actually going to look up the treasurer thing.
Oh, okay. I got treasurer. That's an epic fart.
That was you?
That was me, yeah. What did you think that was?
I honestly thought it was my dog bitching. This is Kotaku, and I really worry about opening a Kotaku article each time I fucking do this.
Why?
Because it's always a fucking slam piece.
Yeah, they're always opinionated.
All right, so government officials pressuring Activision Blizzard are now threatening the company's profits.
I still don't know how that works.
So state treasurers from California, Massachusetts, Illinois, Oregon, Delaware, and Nevada are calling on Activision Blizzard to take more serious measures in addressing ongoing high-profile investigations and lawsuits about the company's troubling culture.
I just want to point out, those are like the most fucking...
Democratic states?
Yeah.
I know. But at the same time, it's good that they're doing this because most of these states, Activision has studios in. So, I mean, it works. So, whatever. In this case. So... According to Axios, said treasurers have asked to meet with the board members of Activision Blizzard by December 20th, threatening action against the company if it does not comply. A quick recap. We're not going to do that. State treasurers...
We recap this every fucking week.
Yeah, I know. So state treasurers, for those who don't know, are in charge of overseeing the financial matters that concern both its state and citizens. Treasurers in the state of Illinois, for example...
are corrupt as fuck. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is 100% true. The last 4 governors have been put in prison for fucking corruption.
Yeah. There's a TikTok that talks about Illinois and all that shit.
I think I saw it.
Yeah.
So, for example, serve as auditors of public accounts. But why would a state treasurer care about what a video game company is doing? This is your question. Well, some states have active investments in Activision Blizzard that are affected by the company's stock prices, which in turn affects pension funds that people use in retirement. But having investments in Activision Blizzard also means that these government shareholders have some power in dictating what the company does next. And right now, the treasurers aren't happy with Activision Blizzard's leadership.
Let's be real, though. If I'm Bobby Kotick, for example, and I already have millions upon millions, probably billions of dollars, I don't give a fuck what they do to my retirement.
Now, here's the thing. A big chunk of his money goes towards his benefits and stock, which, guess what? The state treasurers have a say in because they hold shares and they have power of that money that goes to Activision. They could easily say you get none of those bonuses. If you don't step down by the time you retire, you get nothing.
He's still very smart and he's still very economic.
Well,
I don't think it's going to affect him.
Like I said, drag him in the street. I don't condone violence, and I'm not saying you should do this, but I'm saying
if it were to happen,
if it were to happen, like it would be effective. Ah. So we're concerned.
tobacco?
So this is with nicotine.
The
So they said
same
we're
thing.
concerned. There's no tobacco in it.
I'm so confused.
It's tobacco-free nicotine powder.
Oh, it's coffee?
It's no, it's not coffee.
I saw coffee on there.
It's coffee flavored. So it's like basically flavoring other weird powders like sugars and stuff and nicotine in a powder form. There's no tobacco in this at all.
Is it a pouch?
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, you can't really throw the fucking powder in. It's too fine. It'd be like putting sand in your mouth.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I've actually broken one of those open in my mouth. One of the patches have open, like the powder got out while I had one in, and it is absolutely disgusting. And it's like putting it straight in. It is gross, and it's just like you feel like there's chalk in your mouth. And cum. Anyway, so we're concerned that the current CEO and
Putting it straight in.
Putting it straight in. We're concerned that the current CEO and board of directors don't have the skill set nor the conviction to institute these sweeping changes needed to transform their culture, to restore trust with employees and shareholders and their partners. Illinois State Treasurer Michael Ferrix told Axios. While Kotick has reportedly proposed that he would consider quitting, which he won't, he can't fix the company's culture, and Activision Blizzard has formed a workplace responsibility committee to improve the workplace culture and eliminate all forms of harassment and discrimination in the company. So one thing the treasurers bring is also a bit of a spotlight here and a little public pressure as well, which is true, and political pressure, who also noted that it was troubled by the news of unequal pay at the company. So it's not all just the number of dollars and number of shares that we have. The Massachusetts State Treasurer, Deborah Goldberg, shared similar concerns with Ferrix and was baffled that Activision Blizzard board members stood by Kotick, which is true. Most of the time, the board, unless they're like really tight, like in this case, will save their own asses in these kinds of cases and get rid of them just to cover their own.
Which is interesting.
That's what I thought too. Because when they said that they stand by him, I'm like, I thought for sure with that whole thing, he's gonna be gone. But no, the board was like, we stand with him, we believe in him. It's like, what? That never happens. If it were, and that's the other thing, if it were anybody else within the leadership of Activision or Blizzard, they would be gone, and they were. J. Allen Brack, the president of fucking Blizzard.
Maybe Kotick has like dirt on all of them.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He does.
A smart business person
Epstein's Black Book. So
it's Kotick's Black Book now.
Following the demands of his resignation, Goldberg told Axios that Activision Blizzard's case calls for a true investigation from an outside investigator. Even a proposed $18 million settlement to the victims. Oh, we already talked about that shit too. God damn it. You could point to, hey, we paid the victims, we're making them a whole, Ferrick said.
All these articles are making so much money.
Oh, I know.
We're getting all these clicks, and they're saying the same shit.
Yes.
Or they're recapping the same shit.
So, I mean, look at this. Head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan, Nintendo president Doug Bowser sent an email to their staff criticizing Activision Blizzard's company culture.
Well, yeah, when in reality...
look at this. The National Legal and Policy Center also called upon Coca-Cola chairman and CEO James Quincy to immediately seek the resignation of Kotick.
See, that's the virtue signaling shit that I think is stupid.
Well, I mean, Coca-Cola could easily be like, yeah, get the fuck out of there.
That's what I mean. Like, if you have no impact in the company, you jumping on board with what the majority are trying to say is just virtue signaling.
The point being in all of this is
you're trying to get the majority behind your back, regardless of like the trueness or not of it. Like, I understand that. But it's the purpose of, like, they're getting these fucking company CEOs to do all that shit.
Right.
Come on. Like, let's get to the fucking real problem.
The whole point...
Getting the mob behind your back.
The whole thing that's going on right now is fucking insane. Like, I want to know what was going through the minds of the guys high up at Activision when they made the decision to lay these people off in the first place. We're going back to the layoff thing now. What made them think, we're kind of dealing with an insane shitstorm right now. We have multiple presidents of multiple gaming companies and multiple publishers besides us that put our games out, calling for the CEO to step down, politicians calling for the CEO to step down, the pressure of the Department of Treasury in certain states. By the way, the state treasurers that were putting that pressure on, that was before the layoffs happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they started facing pressure from state treasurers on top of a fucking lawsuit from the SEC for the stock shit. On top of the lawsuit from fucking state of California, on top of people petitioning for Bobby Kotick and all the dirt from the Wall Street Journal that they put out on him, all that shit that they've been doing, and they still went ahead to lay off people after promising them so much, and then now they're considering laying off even more. It's like, what fucking balls do you think you have that you think that you can just do this with no repercussions?
So we know that they've been going through all that. We know that their stocks have been taking a dip, and that's probably their version of saving those costs that they've lost. And that we all know contractors go first because they
always go
with
first.
The company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's same in the military. Contractors are always the ones that go first, versus like hired on staff. Can't remember what it's called.
Like permanent party staff type.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the term.
It's
GS. There we go.
Even still with this, and there was even a controversy like a couple of years ago where Activision, when they laid off all like 85 or like 8% of its fucking staff, which were all contractors, and it came out like Jason Schreier had an expose on fucking Activision around that same time after that whole thing happened about the treatment of contractors within Activision, and he even stated in that article that we just read about it that they've been actively working to try to, for better treatment of the contractors, because the contractors get treated as if they are lower than fucking dirt.
So that had nothing to do with the treatment of them, though.
No. Well, in a way, yes, it does. And the way what I mean by that is the fact that, I don't think the money they lost from these couple of contractors versus hiring them would actually make that much of a fucking difference, especially when you got Bobby Kotick and the board members all lining their fucking pockets.
But yeah, that's what I mean, though, is you're going to cut from the lowest. They're going to cut from the lowest people.
Which they cannot afford to do. And the reason why I say that is because in the public eye, they cannot afford to do this. With all this pressure from government people, game publishers, the state, the fucking stock market, all this shit, the public, the pressure from all of this compiled into one fucking ball of shit that's sitting on their shoulders right now. It would have been smarter for them to be like, I will willingly not take my bonus this year just so that those people can keep their job, just to fucking save face in some way. And they couldn't even be bothered to do that. These people make so much money as it is. Those people that are saving their fucking pockets are literally getting rid of people that can't afford that.
Yeah. Yep.
Just because they want to make more money on the back end. And it's stupid. It's fucking like Activision, you cannot afford to do that. Like, you are literally digging yourself in a deeper fucking hole by doing this. The board, Bobby Kotick, as much of a cuck as he is, you all can afford to just relinquish all of that extra money for one fucking year, especially when you had made $2 billion last year just off Warzone alone.
Greed's a motherfucker.
Greed is a motherfucker. And honestly, the days for Activision and that board and and Bobby Kotick, they are so numbered right now. It's unbelievable. If they make it to next year, I mean, the board members will probably make it next year, but if Bobby Kotick makes it to next year, I'll be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked.
What were our time frames? You said by the end of the year. When did Nelson say?
I said around holidays.
Yeah.
At the latest, around the new year.
When did Nelson say?
I think it was about the same as me.
Was it? Because I think I said like at least 6 months.
I think it'd be sooner than that. With how much pressure that's mounting and all this other shit that they keep pulling, like, it's just now you got more people calling for your head. Especially with these layoffs, like, you have more people calling for your fucking head after this decision. It's like, you cannot afford to do this, but you're doing it anyway, and it's making you look even worse.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. I'm hoping the day of reckoning is coming for these fuckers. I really am. Like,
but we gotta also remember the next person doesn't always mean a better person.
Yeah, I know. Sorry if I'm like kind of like scatterbrained with things right now when it comes to like bringing up my points. I'm exhausted. I had to be up at 3:30 this morning.
When are my points not scatterbrained?
I know, but like I'm just really fucking tired today, and so I'm trying to breeze through this because I want to go to sleep. I got off work last night at 10 p.m. I had less than 4 hours of sleep, and I didn't nap today. I went straight to the gym. I'm fucking dead tired. Anyway.
Nobody cares, Brock.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart. All right.
What is happening?
Wheeler Walker, bro.
What the hell is that?
That is an image from It Takes Two. It's a weird book, man.
I wish I'd played the game.
So Take-Two takes issue with It Takes Two, trademarking Take-Two. I hate this so much. Why is this the title?
Take-Two. I got you. Take-Two takes issue with It Takes Two, trademarking Takes Two.
I feel like I had a stroke trying to read that.
Yeah, probably. Good Lord. Do you need to wipe?
Nah, that one was a good one.
Is that on the it's going to be, is that running down your leg?
No, man. I had chili before.
I feel like you need to change your diaper at this point.
So Hazelight Studios abandoned its trademark on the hit co-op game earlier this year over opposition from Take-Two.
You know that, like, even psychology has given that game a good, what's the word? Kudos, I guess, because they've said like it's actually very good for couples.
It's a nominee for Game of the Year.
But I mean, like the mental health field in general, like people that don't even play games, they've said that it's actually
it's good for people with mental health issues
for couples that are like going through couples therapy, and it could because it's phenomenal for teamwork and communication for couples because you cannot do that game without cohesion of another person. And, like, you literally have to work together.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, there's been psychologists that have looked into that, and they're like, that's actually a phenomenal game. And, like, couples therapy people have been suggested to play that game.
Interesting. So, Hazelight Studios is caught up in a trademark dispute with publisher Take-Two Interactive over its hit co-op game It Takes Two. According to a Eurogamer report, which found that the studio abandoned its trademark application for the game's title after Take-Two indicated that it would oppose it.
Okay.
Hazelight applied the trademark in May 2020, but abandoned the application on March 25th, one day ahead before It Takes Two launched on March 26th. A Hazelight representative told Eurogamer that it can't comment on the matter because it's still ongoing, but said the studio is hopeful it will be resolved. Industry analyst Michael Futter said on Twitter that Take-Two's objection may not have material impact of the game itself. The trademark conflict means that Hazelight can't protect the game, not
the
that
name. Can't
protect the name, not that they will be forced to change it. Futter tweeted, "It could change it if they want to protect the name, but honestly, it's probably not worth it for them to do that."
So does that mean that Take-Two can just take all the fucking profits from that point?
Hard to say. So Take-Two's objection is primarily preventative, according to Futter. Take-Two isn't saying that Hazelight is infringing, but it doesn't want them to be able to protect the name. Essentially, they're bullying, essentially, is what they're doing. They're just trying to say that, like, we're not saying that you're infringing, but we could take that from you if we wanted to. They're holding it over their head, essentially. And put it out of Take-Two's reach since it is so close to their company's name.
This is confusing to even...
I know. According to lawyer Richard Hoeg of the Hoeg Law, Take-Two has become very aggressive in protecting its trademarks. In recent podcasts, he said the company has made... Hey, on another recent podcast, we're talking about it. So it's made at least 25 extensions or objections to trademark filings over the past 3 months. 25?
I mean...
Electronic Arts, by the way, of comparison, has 25 trademark interactions over the past 6 years.
That's
and Take-Two has done it in 3 months. Activision and ZeniMax have comparably languid claim rates.
Can we use real fucking words?
Some of Take-Two's claims are clearly valid, according to Hoeg, while others are more of a reach. But regardless of how they hold up in court, the company's zealous protection of its trademarks could stop other companies from even trying to claim trademarks for their names at all similar to those owned by Take-Two, opting to avoid the hassle of having to defend them against Take-Two's legal team. There's actually been cases where the chilling effect is at least partially the point. There's actually been cases where games have completely canceled titles or renamed titles because Take-Two put pressure on them, said it sounds too close to something that we own, and we're going to take. This is the whole thing with it. Take-Two's taking them to court and elongating the process of this whole thing, and making it. And it's always the independent developers and small fucking businesses that can't afford to keep that going, so they cave in.
I mean, we see this with
as Young was the guy that I was listening to the video about this. He said it's a battle of attrition that they're playing on these smaller companies.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that at least twice in the past a couple of months in other areas like Facebook, Meta,
right,
and the Cleveland Indians with the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, but what the thing is with this one is that you got one company doing 25 of them in the last 3 fucking months. So they're basically going nuclear on anybody that is using a name close to something that they own.
Close
right?
to, not even the same.
Not even the same, just close. Which is weird because you notice how they're not going after Pepsi for Rockstar Energy.
Because Pepsi has money.
Exactly. And that's the fucking problem.
Pepsi would actually probably destroy them. They have significantly more money.
Take-Two is delivering a message with this kind of action to other lawyers, to other folks that could potentially use the R or the word Rockstar or the letter R for the name dot or dots or two dots.
Wait, no, isn't Rockstar Energy spelled differently?
No,
it's not.
No,
I thought it was. I thought it had 2 Ks in there.
No, it's even a star with an R in the middle of it. So this is exactly what they're talking about. Take-Two is delivering a message with this kind of action to other lawyers, to other folks that could potentially use the word Rockstar or the letter R or the name dot or dots or 2 dots. Jesus.
What is fucking happening here?
Or, as it turns out, Take-Two itself and saying, go away. You don't even want to get into this because we will just make your lives miserable, Hoeg said. Essentially, that's what they're doing. Take-Two is making the process the punishment, he continued. They aren't the first, and they certainly won't be the last. They aren't the first, and they certainly won't be the last to do this kind of thing. It's not necessarily illegal, but it certainly is aggressive.
Imagine, me telling you that you shouldn't do that. It's too close. You don't want to try it.
Yeah, we'll take you to court if you do try it. But even though it might not stand, but we'll process. What the thing that they're doing is that they're motioning for delays, so they can investigate,
quote unquote,
yeah.
But the other people still have to pay for that
fucking
shit.
Rack these legal fees for these little guys so that they can't afford it and they just concede. That's all it is. It's bullying.
Because they can.
So that appears to be what happened here. Hazelight applied for the It Takes Two trademark. The USPTO published it in the Trademark Official Gazette. Take-Two Interactive then filed for an extension of the time allowed to officially oppose the trademark. And Hazelight, seeing the writing on the wall, walked away. So it's an unfortunate hassle for Hazelight, but it doesn't seem to have negatively impacted Take-Two's fortunes. It's sold more than 3 million copies so far, very impressive for a relatively niche co-op action adventure, and it's nominated in 5 categories at this year's Game Awards, including Game of the Year.
Wow.
Take-Two declined to comment on the matter. I've reached out to Hazelight for more information. We'll update this article. Oh, there's another thing I wanted to talk about with the Game Awards. So, Jeff Keighley, the guy that runs the Game Awards, said that he's not taking sides when it comes to Activision.
It's probably smart.
Well, here's the problem with that. He did take sides against the publisher once, and that was when Hideo Kojima got fucking shafted at accepting his Game of the Year award for Metal Gear Solid 5. Because Konami, what they did was Konami's lawyers reached out to Hideo Kojima, the guy that created the game, and told them they didn't want him there because they got rid of him. And they said they didn't want him there to accept the award. So
because it's less of a sensitive subject.
it wasn't at of the time.
What it's about.
Well, of the time, it was like it was a huge deal because I'm like, the guy made the game, and you're not going to let him accept his own award.
No, I understand it's a huge, but it's not as sensitive or controversial of the topic of
the
what
problem.
it is.
The problem with that is that on one breath he's like Jeff Keighley is saying that, and then on the other it's just like, why are you not going to take a stand against Activision? You've taken a stand against a publisher before, and with like, and even in Jeff Keighley's words, a fucking scorched earth style way of doing like this fucking huge slam speech against Konami for what they did to Hideo Kojima.
It's because of the two issues aren't the same.
They're not the same issues, but it's still like one publisher is committing a shady practice, and you're going to acknowledge that. But when another publisher is doing a shady practice, you're going to refuse to acknowledge that. Because it's not even so much acknowledging it. It was like talking about like he's not going to get involved with he's not going to get involved with Activision's involvement in the Game Awards, which now he eventually changed his tone on this to now Activision itself will have no presence at the Game Awards, but the developers that are in the respective categories will.
One issue is more black and white than the other one, and less controversial in overall
What's not
sense.
black and white about the one that's going on right now?
That's not black and white at all.
There's hardly any gray area in it. There might be some here and there, but for the most part,
it's a pretty controversial thing. It's the topic of itself.
It's controversial because it's a problem. Why is it Kim Jong Un? Did I spell Jong Un? I did.
Yeah, Jong.
Is that it?
That's part of it. Go scroll down and see if you can find the car.
No, I want to react to this in real time. All right, so Forza Horizon. This is our last topic for the night.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it is. Look at that.
So for Forza Horizon 5 player gets 8,000 year ban for Kim Jong Un car.
That's a bit extreme.
Don't joke about nuclear war on the side of your virtual cars, please.
I think this is where is this article?
This is the Gamer.
Yeah, this is gonna be the one.
All right, so Forza Horizon 5 launched to Xbox last month. Much warmer welcome than anyone could have imagined. More than 1 million, blah 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 blah.
They're the ones that went out and like actually filmed and photographed areas, right?
And then developed off of that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
As well as its stunning backdrops of terrific gameplay, Forza 5 has been celebrated for its customization options. The first question players were asked is, what pronouns would they like the game to use?
I think we covered that actually, or like we mentioned
we didn't.
it.
We never talked about that.
Yeah, go. Oh no, never mind. There's a video.
So one player appears to have learned the hard way after a custom-made design of their Forza 5 cars landed them almost 8,000 year ban. That's insane.
It's a bit extreme, I think.
The design was shared by a friend of the banned party on Reddit. It is very much a situation of take your pick when it comes to deciding which element of the livery resulted in the ban. It could be the inclusion of Kim Jong Un's face, the Send Nukes hashtag, the Pyongyang Pirelli logo, or perhaps the changing Nike to Nuke. All right, I guess.
And it's got.
Is it in this?
It's got KFC. Yeah, you have to click on one of those.
All right.
I think it's the first one.
Oh. Okay. Hashtag send nukes. What does it say? Nuke. Does it say nuke balance? Yong Yang. Parallel 38. Oh, dude, I love that so fucking much. All right, let's go to the next one.
Oh, it's the band message. That's right. The only picture I think is the very first one.
No.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
What is that?
They changed the Nike to Nuke.
Yeah, that's what I said. Oh my God,
man.
that's fantastic.
8,000 year bang.
Look at the graphics on that, though.
That's what I'm saying. That game. It makes me want to get it just for the graphics, honestly.
What does it say? Oh. So my friend just told me that it got an 8,000 year ban for one of his libraries. It looks like a T10, but doesn't like jokes or something. The post reads, is highlighted above. Turn 10 would have been responsible for issuing the ban, not Forza 5 developer Playground Games.
So it's Turn 10 like the publisher?
Yeah. Other Forza players have been sympathizing with the ban party. One claims to have received a similar treatment for creating a Pornhub library. I love this. And another for slapping a pro-Trump design on their car. Okay, come on.
Here we go.
Really, we're gonna go that far with that? You put a pro-Trump. You went pro-Trump, and you're not gonna get banned.
It's a whole.
And you're gonna get banned for that.
It's a whole new level of censorship.
I know. What hasn't yet been revealed is if the unnamed player will appeal the decision. It's also unclear if the length of the ban was a mistake. The year 9,999 feels a little like simply like high as a system will go, which implies the ban is simply indefinite. Hopefully there will be an update soon revealing whether it was a mistake or if the ban has been lessened to something more reasonable like 6,000 years. As for the rest of you, don't use your virtual cars to depict world leaders as fast food mascots or glorify nuclear war. Why? What's wrong with nuclear war?
They're not veterans. They don't get it.
I really shouldn't have to say that. This is... That's fantastic. What a fucking fun article to finish that one off.
I thought that shit was hilarious. When I saw that, I was like, I'm sending that shit in. I'm glad I didn't send a picture.
I am too. If you just sent me a picture, I'm like, oh, that would have spoiled the fun for all of us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so too. Because I was trying to look through the article, because I actually didn't want to read the article overall. I was like, I want to see the fucking... I saw the article title, and I was like, I want to see the fucking car. And I couldn't find it, and I saw that, and I was like...
You know, Kim Jong Un looks like one of those guys that says his bee's fat.
His bee is fat?
Yeah.
He
says his bee's all fat. Like, bruh.
Oh, now I can... like, you can hear the cholesterol in his voice.
You don't talk shit about me. You don't talk shit about me at all. I know it sounds like Cartman, but hey.
You can...
we will launch nukes at you. Brr.
You know, when you're playing any type of video game online, and you can hear the cholesterol in someone's voice?
You can tell they have a fat voice.
They just talk like this.
They have a fat... Yeah, it's called having a fat voice. You ever heard someone over a mic that was so fat their voice was fat?
It just sounds like they got shit stuck in their throat.
They just
They got the heavy
where
breathing.
we dropping, boys? Like that?
Hashtag fat shaming.
I'm not fat shaming. I'm fat.
Fat shaming isn't a real thing.
I know it's not.
If that were the case, we'd have to,
I
shame.
mean, if you think about it, does the military technically fat shames?
They're allowed to do that though.
I know. Your combat effectiveness is lowered because you're fat. But also the military's fat standard is pretty fucking flawed.
That as well. That as well.
So it goes in one hand and it's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're not fat, but on the other hand, you're fucking fat. It's like, what?
Very true.
That's why they always say there's a difference between being fat and being military fat.
I never heard that.
You never heard that?
I mean, I knew that. I know it's a thing, but never heard that. Same.
Like, you could be being a fat person is like you are a fat person. When you're a military fat person, chances are you're not actually fat. The military says you're fat, even though you're really not.
I guess
like it was like me when I was considered fat when I came back when I went into the National Guard. And I was like, it's been a year since I was in service. Like, I'm not doing PT regularly anymore. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be like in the best shape of my life like I was a year ago. But then they were like, how they do it in the National Guard is that you like, if you're fat or considered fat, they put you in what's called remedial PT. So you got to show up to drill early.
Yeah.
To do PT. And the guy that was running that straight told me, he's like, you don't need to be here. Because there was me, and this is me 1 year out of the Army, so I was still in pretty decent shape. And there was other people that were like 300 plus fucking pounds.
Yeah, they're the ones that have been in the National Guard the whole time. They're the ones that you see on the meme pages where they take pictures of them.
Yes, and they couldn't run, they could do push-ups, couldn't do sit-ups, couldn't do anything. It was like physical activity was like it eluded
getting up
them.
to go to the fridge.
Yes. That was pretty much the amount of physical activity they did. And here I am, and I'm like, I still go to the gym regularly. I mean, now I'm trying to get back into it because I've, since being in a relationship, I've put on about 20 pounds.
I know the feeling. That and me and Blue Side, but
I told Alicia, I'm like, that since I started dating,
this is your fault.
No, I mean, she is a fantastic cook, and she feeds me. So,
yeah, I have a Filipino girlfriend, so she likes to shove food at me.
So when I was there at remedial PT, and I'm like smoking the fuck out of everybody, the guy that was running it was like, you only like we just need you here for the meetings. You don't need to keep doing this.
Did I ever tell you I got put on? So the Navy calls it FEP.
Fat camp?
FEP. FEP. It's technically a fitness enhancement program, but
So fat camp?
we call it fat enlisted people.
That's fitting, actually.
Because I don't think I've ever seen a fucking single officer on it, even though there are officers that they're like,
They should be there, but
you
they're
should be
not.
there, but you're not here. But when I was on Greenside, me and a couple of my buddies were pissed off at the leadership, so we were being belligerent and we passed our PRT. Whereas there's different levels, so we passed, but we passed at the lowest level possible, enough to it wouldn't affect our careers, but enough to piss off leadership.
So essentially, yeah, like doing the bare minimum is not passing, even though technically it is passing, but passing in the bottom is not passing. That's how it was for the airborne.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like if you didn't get a 275 out of 300 or higher, you were considered a fucking shitbag and put into like extra PT and stuff.
But what they did was we had the PRT in like August, September timeframe, around there, somewhere in like there. And around this time, around December timeframe, they said after the holidays, come January, you three are gonna go on FEP, and we're like, what? We passed our PRT, and they said that the Master Chief would come out that said people of this level are gonna go on FEP. We're like, this is fucking bullshit. This is also like 4 months after the PRT. We have another 2 to 3 months before the next PRT. So me and him went. He ended up getting off of it because he had like medical shit. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So I went, and I'm surrounded by these fat fucking dick holes.
How many of them are new recruits?
None of them. None of them were new recruits.
I imagine
They were
not.
just fat ass fucking shitbags.
I wasn't sure because I imagine like some new recruits.
This was back on Greenside.
Oh, okay.
They were just fat pieces of shit, and every single person was like, "Why are you here? Did you fail?" I'm like, "No, I
Did
didn't
you ever
fail."
see that TikTok of the Marine one of the Marines screaming at someone about being fat in this fucking
Yes.
Marine Corps?
It was in the office.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, he doesn't look that fat, but okay.
Their standard is different.
I know. I mean, one of the guys that were when I was coming in, there was a guy that was facing separation because the Marine Corps said he was fat, but the dude was like
super fit. Yeah,
he was like probably the most aesthetic person I've seen in the
they made
military.
an article about that.
There was an article about this, and I think it was on Army What the Fuck Moments too. Like
Probably. I think I remember this.
It was like this dude was facing separation for being considered fat, even though this dude was like he had an 8-pack. He was shredded.
Was he dark skinned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And like the dude he's like, my career's in jeopardy because the outdated standards of fitness of weight and height are they're just outdated. Like I'm considered fat for the Marine Corps, yet he blows his fucking his PT test out of the water. He's definitely not a fat guy. He's in better shape than most fucking people I've ever met. But yet, because he doesn't have a neck big enough for his waist.
I think they slightly changed things after him because I remember when that came out.
Oh, it was a huge deal. The dude was facing his career ending because the Marine Corps considered him fat and out of shape when he absolutely wasn't out of shape. He was probably in better shape than the fucking commander that was chaptering him.
I think I remember when that was coming out, and I'm pretty sure they did some changes.
They needed to. Oh God, they still need to. They still need to change stuff.
So we have these things called mock PRTs where they make the fat people run the PRT to see where they're at or like where their progress is.
So
like
a diagnostic.
Yeah, okay. So the same thing for you guys, just a different term.
Yeah.
So I was pissed off that I even had to do this. So
because it doesn't count.
Yeah, and I was like, this is stupid. And I told the first class there, I was like, I'm gonna fail this. He's like, no, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I'm telling you straight up.
I'm going to fail.
I'm going to fail it because I also don't fucking care. So I dogged everything. I think I had like a 16-minute fucking mile and a half. I was just chilling, and we had to push up.
16-minute mile and a half, dude.
I was chilling, bro. I was chilling.
You only have to run a mile and a half.
Yeah, that's our PRT. Mile and a half.
What's your time? What time do you have to run that in?
For a good time, like 11 minutes. Minimum time for my age group is like, I think 13.
So that's essentially like an 8 to 9 minute mile. That's slow.
I don't remember. For like minimum time, it is pretty slow. But I also didn't care.
It also changes with age.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I was like, I don't care. And when we got to the push-ups, I did 10, and I was like, I'm done.
10, we have to do 40.
No, I just didn't. Yeah, it's about the same. I think push-ups and sit-ups are the same. I just didn't care. I was like, I'm done. He's like, no, you can do more than that. I said, nah, that's it. I'm done.
See, for in the Army, you have to pass a diagnostic in order to take the record.
We don't. Well, we have
they
to
eventually
pass
just
it.
let me take the record because it was like,
We have to pass. If you're on FEP, you have to pass one of those.
if you're on Fat Enlistment Program,
fat enlisted people
Fat Enlisted people, if you're one of the FEPs.
to get off of FEP or pass the regular PRT. So you either pass a mock or you pass the regular PRT, and then you're off. But there was a nutritional thing where they had the chief sit down with everybody and talk about their diet and everything. So I go in there during that time, and he sits down with me, and he's like, all right, don't bullshit me. Did you actually struggle, or did you just not give a shit? I was like, I just didn't give a shit, chief. He's like, well, you know what you got to do to get off. You can leave. It's like, aye, chief. And I fucking
Aye, chief.
And then I got a excellent on my next PRT, and I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's start wrapping this up. So
You should re-enlist to do another PRT.
I'm not doing that. No.
It'll get you fit again.
No, I'm not doing that at all. I lose my disability, dude. I'm not doing that. Fuck that. So if you made it this far, I'm glad you're still here. Also,
like the video.
this is news to you.
Sorry.
But we are going to stream next weekend's episode.
Why?
A lot of people have been requesting it.
Again, wow, that's interesting.
But we're going to do it differently this time.
No chat.
There will be a chat, but there will be a chat segment
We tried that last
at
time.
the end.
Okay. Don't even have the chat open.
Oh, I'm not going to have the chat open. I'm going to explain to the chat, like, off the rip, like, I'm going to put it, I'll even put it in the description. It'll be like...
Are you doing it on Twitch or YouTube?
It'll be on Twitch. And then I'll put it on YouTube. Because what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stream it on Twitch, but I'm also going to record it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to edit it and put it on YouTube.
Okay, that makes sense. That's fair.
So that's how I'm going to do this one. So I do want to record the next one, or stream the next one.
See how it does.
You see how it does. Butchmaster also kind of gave me the idea, even though I told him I tried it before, but it didn't work. But I'm gonna have to put it in this, put it in the description. Chat talking points at the end.
That'll be interesting.
And then I'm gonna change some timers to remind chat that we'll be taking we'll be engaging with chat and taking questions at the end.
The bot and everything that does that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use like whatever the Stream Elements bot is. I'm gonna like do the whole like when I have like the timers instead of like the typical timers. I'm gonna make a new timer that like regularly pops in and reminds chat because it's gonna be first it goes off of like it's got the base where it goes off of how many lines of chat, and then there's a timer there. And then so I think every like 5 minutes or so, it's gonna remind, hey, chat, talking points with chat will be at the end.
You know what I found out with those though? They only do that if there's actually active chat going on.
Yeah. Well, with my guys, they're gonna be talking and stuff, and like I'll even say it in the beginning, like for those that are either in the chat, like just to let you know, this is not gonna be an engaging stream in the beginning. It's gonna be us talking, like doing. You're gonna see in real time what the podcast looks like, and then we're gonna take points from you guys at the end.
It'll be interesting.
So that's
dynamic.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit different than what I normally do. But I mean, like even Butch said that he's seen other streamers do podcasts where they don't even talk to chat ever.
They just straight up stream it.
They straight up stream it, and people just watch. So we're gonna try that out next weekend.
I think that's a better method.
Well,
where
just
it's
don't even
basically
engage with them.
or if you do, it's It's not even a part of the video that goes out. You know what I mean? So the chat, people that are in the direct chat, that's like their bonus for being in the live stream if they want to interact and everything. But then the posted video doesn't have any of that portion on there.
So you're saying that like cut out that part?
Yeah. So like it's almost like we end the episode in a sense for the video purpose, but then we're still live for the extra portion for like it's like we're rewarding the people that are being there live.
We can do. Yeah, I can try that. We'll do that.
Because then they're like, oh, we're getting extra shit that the other people don't get. So it creates that incentive of like, ooh, we get to do things that other people.
I'm also going to promote it a lot. I'm going to have to make promotions for it and stuff, and let people know ahead of time before they come in. Like, hey, there's going to be a live.
Yeah.
We're going to do a live stream episode. There will be no engagement, but we will be doing engagement at the end, type stuff. So, anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here. Thanks for coming back after the holiday weekend. I hope your guys' Thanksgiving was fantastic.
And go fucking run, you fat fucks.
Yeah, fat people.
Get all that.
Not fat shaming, because I know some of y'all are fat, but I also know some of you guys can take the jokes. You know, we don't mean it maliciously. I just want to reiterate that.
No, I'm fluffy, but it's also my fault. So
Yeah, it's 100%
unless you have
my
a medical
fault, too.
problem, fucking go to the gym.
Yeah. So, anyway, guys, love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next week. And I hope to see you guys in the live episode.
Hopefully
Keep an eye
Nelson
out
will be
for
here
it.
as well.
Nelson, yeah, Nelson. Tell Nelson he doesn't want to miss that.
You tell Nelson he doesn't want to miss something.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Love ya.
Bye.
Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die.